College Classic. Did just say College Classic campuses. We'll show you. We're reading the prostitute, Revelation 17 here. And I have a lot of questions from people in regards to the prostitute and exactly what she's about. And so I wanted you to know that the prostitute actually wants to be like the woman from Revelations 12. We'll see the similarities of the two, and I'll show you. You see, in the last days, you have to understand something. In the last days, a man is going to rise. And that man that rises has to be the Christ, which we know as the Antichrist, the first coming. But he already came, and his mother was holy. You have to understand, Jesus Christ's mother was holy. So when we read Revelations 12, we find that she was very holy. We see here in Revelations 12, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun. This means that she's clothed with light. And the moon under her feet. In other words, she doesn't walk in darkness. She treads the darkness under her feet. Okay? And upon her head she wears a crown of 12 stars. That means she can tell the 12 tribes of Israel what to do, and they're going to obey her. And they did after Christ's death. They did. They all obeyed her. She was like the Queen of England. She was holy. She was like the First Lady. Holy. Everyone had to do what she said. And for the tribes of Israel, everyone will obey her in the last days as well. So, we know that the devil is going to come with his mom, and he's going to want her to be very holy, and he's going to want everyone to answer and bow down to her the way they did Jesus Christ's mother. This is called the prostitute. Let me introduce you to her. It's very funny because a lot of people are not aware of this. They think, oh, well, whoever this woman is, she's going to be very hated. No, she's going to be very loved like her son. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto you the judgment of the great whore that sitteth on many waters. This means that she's seated in many nations and in many area. Okay, the Americas, North, South, and Central America. That's many waters. Europe. Have you ever sat in the middle of Europe? If you sit in the middle of Europe, it's nothing but a great big circle all around, okay? So then if you go to the UK, that's a different place. That's the United Kingdom. There's some more waters there, okay? And then if you go to the Middle East, there are some more waters over there. And she's capable of sitting in all these waters. So whoever she is, either a prime minister's wife, a king's wife, or she's a president's wife. Anyway, she's very loved, and she's a prostitute. She gets to eat with all the merchants and rich merchants and owners of companies, and all of the kings and queens and prime ministers and stuff. And guess what she does to them? She defiles them. She worships the devil on their flesh, and they don't even know it. Some do, some don't. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So, a lot of people don't understand this, but to be seated with kings, prime ministers, presidents, and merchants, you eat, and then a lot of times if you want to, you can practice fornication or sodomy, whichever you prefer, and they're willing to do it. Because they're businessmen and they think they have to. And this is the way that game is played. We aren't supposed to play that game. We know better. But the merchants, the kings, the presidents, and all that, a lot of them don't. They don't know better. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman all sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, this woman here is supposed to be the Christ's mother. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Now, in this cup, you know what she's going to do. You have a neighbor who uses drugs, and every time he uses drugs, you see his sins because you're not on drugs. Or if you ever use drugs, you have a friend who used to come over to use drugs with you, and you always knew the scenario. Well, this is her. She's going to worship the beast, devil worship, and worship. That's what her cup is. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Now, what does that mean? That means that not only is she seated with merchants, but she's seated with the 7 golden candlesticks. How do you know that? Well, it says it right here. It says the woman was, he carried me away into the spirit. Once I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemies. Now, this woman has seated, well, there are 7 heads, 7 crowns, and 10 nations. Right? Upon her forehead was written a name, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. This woman is the mother of the Antichrist. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Now, who are these saints? The saints are the people who are behaving righteously in the 7 golden candlesticks that may not believe on Jesus Christ. They may believe on Allah. They may believe on Mahinder or some other belief that is similar to Christ Jesus, but knows of Jesus Christ but doesn't walk with Him or obey in Him. Now, the angel said unto me, Where do you still marvel? And I will tell the mystery of the woman that sitteth with the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, we know that this is not Mary. Because when we go back to look at Mary, we see Mary right here in chapter 12. She's giving birth to Jesus. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. That means that he's going to carry away, abduct the 12 tribes of Israel to give to his mother, that they would obey her and abide in her. This is the Antichrist. And his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven. He did cast them to the earth, and the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered to devour a child as soon as it was born. Now, what does this mean? He cast 1/3 of the stars of heaven to the earth. Well, you're going to have to go with me to the next chapter to see exactly what that is. You know where we're going? We're going into Genesis 6. We're going to see something very special here. In Genesis 6, we find that God has warned Satan and his angels not to go down to the earth, to leave the human beings alone. But, you know, the devil's not going to listen. He doesn't listen to God. So what happens? We're going to find out. And it came to pass when man began to multiply on the earth, the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all whoever they chose. Now the sons of God, these were the sons of God, the Creator. These men had hoof feet. And they were sons of God, the ancient God, not Jesus Christ. See, we're for Jesus Christ. God created us for Jesus. God has another creation all His own. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and that they were fair, and they took them wives of all. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. These guys live a long time. We only live to be 120 years old. At that time they were living to be 1,000, but he said that they're going to decrease. You live for millions of years. Don't do it. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. They came and became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. These men were before us, and when they took our daughters, they became giants in the land. So you can imagine the pregnancy some of those women went through was just painful, very painful. So, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only for evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at the heart. The Lord said, I will destroy man while I am created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and all the creeping things, and all the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. You see, these people are so evil, they've made God angry. God had to destroy them. And they came back down again after the flood and all that and tried to reside again. But God scared them off. He would scare them off and let them know, I'll destroy. So they were very, very careful after that. They're not careful no more. And they're coming back again to do the same thing. And this time, they want to procreate with our daughters again. So, when we read Daniel, we read the book of Daniel, we see that that's exactly what's taking place. In the book of Daniel, we find out that in Daniel 7, man's in danger. Man is in great, great danger. And we know that because it says it right here in Daniel 7. If you read it and you read it right, it says, in the first year of Belshazzar, the king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and a vision of his head upon his bed. And then he wrote the dream, and he told the sum of the matters. And Daniel spake and said, I saw in the vision of night, and behold, a four winds of heaven strove up the great sea. And the four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first like a lion, and he had eagle's wings, and I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. And it was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand on its feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Well, if a man's heart was given to it, that means they killed the other man that it belonged to. So that man's no longer here. Therefore, he's taken the imagery of that man. So, whoever's family that man has, that beast is now the man of that house. And then we see here, and behold another beast, a second like a bear, and it was raised up on one side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth, in between the teeth of it, and thus said unto it, devour much flesh. In other words, go ahead, enjoy yourself. Now the rib, as we know, was taken from Adam, and it was used to create woman. So what these guys are devouring are our wives after those things kill us. And after that I beheld another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. This leopard comes from the cat family. It's better known as Persian or Iran. That would tell me that Iran is the one behind this attacking people, and it's sending out its people to wed our wives after that great eagle attacks. It sounds to me like a bunch of Iranian Russians are killing the men in this country, this certain country, wherever it is, and they're putting their men in the flesh to look like our men, or whoever's men it was. And they're taking our wives, our daughters. They're doing the same thing that they did in Genesis 6. This is College Classic Campus. I'm TC Ibarra. Sounds like some of these countries under attack. Spiritual warfare, anybody? Revelations 12. And there was war in heaven.